me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. Let's go.
Hello, folks. It's Richard Moore, USAGSA. I've got with me today Arana Edwards Holmes in Pontotoc, Mississippi. And apparently, we're having some issues with abject racism in Pontotoc. Imagine that. But before I jump into it, in the description of this video will be our link tree, and that will give you the links to some of our other platforms and ways you can support USAGSA. We're 100% supported by our listeners, viewers, and followers. Also, I'll give you a link to my Substack and WordPress, where I've written extensively about corrupt government programs and victims and their stories. So I encourage you to go there. To take a stand with USAGSA, I encourage you to become a patron at Patreon. That link is in there as well. And that gives you a direct contact with myself. And you get all the media and everything there first before anybody else gets it. And in some cases, you'll get things exclusively to patrons on Patreon. So check out that in the link tree. Also in the description, we'll give a brief synopsis of what Arana and I are talking about, what she's going to talk about. So you've got a child, Arana, and is it South Pontotoc School?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how old is she?
Oh, sorry. She's 8 years old.
8 years old. She's in second grade.
Yes, sir.
And so she's been going there for how long?
She's been going there since kindergarten. She's established there.
Okay, she's established there. You hadn't moved or anything since then?
No, sir.
So I mentioned racism. And folks, as you can see, Arana is Caucasian. She's white, but her the father of the child is black.
Yes.
And that shouldn't be an issue anywhere on the face of this earth, except in the dirty South. If we know it is an issue, and they will talk out of both sides of their mouth and saying it's not, but their actions speak louder than their words. And I'm telling you, we talk about these things, folks, and it's one thing when you have adults that have to deal with this on a daily basis in Mississippi, still 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, and they still hadn't gotten the memo. The 1954 landmark decision, the Supreme Court, Brown versus the school board, that broke down segregation. It was a ruling, a mandate to desegregate. It was 15 years after Brown versus Board of Education before Mississippi even acted like it wanted to follow that federal mandate. And according to Cindy Hyde-Smith, we still are regressed in the state of Mississippi. And they set up a system. The white people set up a system of private schools and these academies explicitly to make sure that no black student went to school there. Now, South Pontotoc School is a public school, is it not?
From my understanding, yes, it is. Anybody can go there. I mean, you don't have to be special or anything. Right. It's just a regular school like any other school around.
So she's going to school there, and she's a straight A student. And what changed? What happened?
I have no clue. My daughter, she's a straight A student. She's in gifted class as well. Back in, I would say around the end of November, Yes, around the end of November. I had got a call from the principal one day saying that they had my daughter in the office and she had received a write-up. And then he continued to tell me that what he was fixing to tell me was going to blow my mind. Mm-hmm. Then he told me that I was out of district.
Who was this?
Know that you guys are out
Who
of
told
district?
You this?
The principal, Mr. Vandiver did.
Who?
Mr. Vandiver.
Vandiver. Okay, so the Vandiver tells you this. Go on with what Vandiver said.
Yes. He told me that I'm out of district, and did I know this? And I said no. The school has accepted my proofs of residency. Every year that I have went to enroll my child in school, there's never been a problem.
Right.
And see, this year when they did the enrollment, it was actually done in the new building. So you would think that they would have went through the addresses with a fine-tooth comb, being as they're in a new building, so they don't have, the old files that are, they, for whatever reason, I just thought, maybe this year be a better year, they built onto the campus or whatever. Right. But they said that I was out of district and that I was going to have to pull her and send her to city school. Or my option number 2 was to pay tuition. And it would be prorated since we were in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Well,
they want the money now then.
My question to them was exactly like you said, why all of a sudden now they're wanting me to change her to city school? There is a school bus that runs across the road from my house. If my address is the problem. Yeah. There's a school bus that runs across the road from me that picks up another student.
For South Pontotoc.
Yes.
Okay, now, does that other student, as far as you know, do they have to pay tuition?
As far as I know, no. It was told to me they are using the mother's address, which is in district with the school.
But she don't live at that address, but they're using that address.
Correct. Okay. That seems to be the problem.
All right, so they don't have a problem with the fact that the kid is using an address the kid don't live at in order to go to this school. That seems like that ought to be a problem. But now, is this kid white?
Yes.
He's not mixed. Okay. So, no. That's, I can't, this is the part that I can't make it make sense. Okay. I can make it make sense in the mind of a closet Klansman, but I can't make it make sense on its face that it'd be different if they said, well, here's the deal. If you live in the district, that you can go to school here. If you don't live in the district, you've got to pay tuition. That's what they're telling you. And
yes.
They're telling you, this girl, no, she don't live in the district, but she's given an address that's in the district. That's talking out of both sides of your mouth, is it not?
Yeah, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck,
that's what it is.
Then it's a duck.
That's exactly what it is.
There's no difference of why this school will allow a bus to pick up another child in front of my house. But in theory, I can't put my child on that bus and send my child to school.
Have you tried to put her on the bus?
No. See, I pay. I'm a taxpayer just like everybody else, and I don't even use the school's transportation system.
Yeah. Well, they'd probably try to make her ride in the back anyway if she got on it.
Well, they sent her to the back of the cafeteria.
What?
With the higher class this last Friday, which would have been I believe, I'm not sure exactly what date, but this past Friday, my daughter's teacher sent her to the back of the cafeteria with the 3rd and 4th grade, is what I was told by my child.
Why? Do you know why?
Supposedly for the things she had done. And that was not a clear answer to me or to my child, really. I mean, to an 8-year-old, that is not a clear answer.
So she made her sit with older students because she had done something.
Yes.
Well, that's a hell of a deal. That don't make any sense. I'm quite sure that if they wanted to put a child in a situation where they get picked on and bullied, by all means, put them in 2 grades above them and make them sit there and put them in the mix. That's what it sounds like. Has she ever complained of being bullied at all at school, picked on or anything like that?
Yes. See, my daughter, she gets done with her work. A lot. Sometimes she'll get done with her work first. It's always, well, she had a little girl tell her one time that her hair was brown and curly, and she had brown skin and brown eyes, and that she was ugly.
Imagine that. Out
And my
of
daughter can tell you that
she got
herself.
that. She picked that up from home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Children are learning it at home and going to school.
Of course they are.
It's sad.
And yeah, it's bad. And these are folks, I hate to say it, but these are people that the first ones to thump a Bible and be talking all that talk. But then when you talk about this, they'll tell you that that God is against a mixed race. I've read it from cover to cover. Okay, from Genesis to maps, at least a dozen times. And I'm here to tell you that it ain't in there. Okay, it don't even hint of being in there. That's something that that some narrow-minded racist has spewed out from a pulpit, and that's what we get in these smaller communities and these narrow-minded people. I've always said if their asses were as narrow as their minds, you could get the whole world of them on one pew. But that's not the case. Most of them have to turn sideways, get through a door. And then their kids are coming to school and they're talking about the way another child looks. That shouldn't be tolerated.
No.
What did you say? Vanderver? What is his name?
His name is a principal. Well, I think I'm not sure if he's the vice principal or the principal, but his last name is Vanderver.
Well,
he's been really nice. He's been actually really nice to me. Of course,
that's the most dangerous ones that smile in your face and be nice and all that. And you don't really need anybody nice and polite. You need somebody that is colorblind and hadn't got that in their system. When he's aware of the fact this child living directly across the street, riding the bus, and the reason she's getting to ride the bus and go to school is because she's using her grandmother's address. I mean, where do they do that at? And that should be what he said. Well, since that's the case, we're going to let this go. But they brought this out of the blue.
Just out of the blue. I mean, nothing prompted this. My child has went to this school all of kindergarten, all of first grade, all of second grade. Well, almost all of second grade now. We're towards the end of the year. And what is the worst part? I mean, one of the worst parts of it all. In education, if anybody knows about education, this last 9 weeks of school is a very important point in education. It is benchmark times.
Right.
And the bottom 25% of children that are non-learners or repeaters that have to repeat the grade again are children who have been moved in and out from one school to another, who have moved. Right. Their grades drop.
Yeah.
So why would you impose this or try to impose this on my child when my child has been here and my child has good grades?
So what's the alternative? If how much is it going to cost to pay this prorated, and how much is it going to cost a year for her to continue at South Pontotoc? And believe me, now, South Pontotoc, those folks go to South Pontotoc. Don't they have a soccer team?
Yes, I think they
got. Let me tell you, folks. Where there's a soccer team, we've got
it's a whole nest
of wannabe wasp and wannabe aristocrats and the purity of white You can believe that. Believe if you want to. So how much did it would it be? Around
$1,000 a year.
$1,000 a year. And
Yes.
And how many kids you got?
I have two, but that is in school. Only school age, only one.
Okay. So you pay taxes, just like
Yes,
people
sir.
across the street, and but you got to pay $1,000.
That's
so-
what I was told.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Actually, they live closer to the city. Their house is closer to the city
Yeah,
than
but
mine.
she's using a different address that they know she don't live at,
Oh.
and so that's the loophole, and they're admitting to that. I mean, it's not like they try to hide it.
I have no objection of these kids going to this school down here, or it's just why can't I theoretically put my child on that bus that's running in front of my house and send my child to school?
Yeah. And so, do you believe that from what your child is saying, other than what that other child said to her, other indicators that they're demonstrating abject racism?
I do believe so, because there's nothing different in this case other than my child is biracial and this other child is white.
They don't like it. I'm telling you, they don't
And
like
they
it.
told
I
me-
promise you.
They told me that they said that one of the parents has to have an address within district, and I don't know about this other. I guess they have joint custody
Look,
over it.
It's where they live. Not, I mean, if it's they gotta have an address, there's a big difference in where they live and have an address. I mean,
It
I can
matters
imagine.
where a child is physically residing where they go to school at.
And that ain't the deal with a kid across the street, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there you have it, folks.
Everybody is aware of this problem, but nobody wants to fix it. I've spoken
Now they won't fix it.
to our representative.
Have you talked to Cindy Hyde Smith's office?
No, I have not, but I have spoken to Senator Kathy Chisholm about the issue.
I put Cindy Hyde Smith.
And
If they're getting any hint of the state of Mississippi, and that it trickles on down to the locals, and which they are, there's no take the F out of it, federal dollars, then Senator Smith does have some say so in that. I'm gonna put a link in the description, folks. Cindy Hyde Smith, and for everybody to see this, and I encourage you to send your thoughts to Cindy Hyde Smith about this racism, and this is not just in South Pontotoc. Believe that. This is statewide. And Cindy Hyde Smith has talked about this. She's ran on this, and that's been part of her platform. It is a problem. It's still a problem. And here we are talking about it, folks, giving you an example of it, of something they just pull that out of thin air. As if they didn't have other things they need to be doing. And how much money is South Pontotoc School getting as far as public records show?
Public records said that the full district received $36 million last year.
Damn, what are they doing with that money? $36 million for that school in Pontotoc.
Yes.
36 million. Folks, please tell me. Now, all I've heard is how grossly underpaid the teachers are. That may be the case. I don't know. And how teachers are having to buy school supplies out of their own pocketbook. I've heard that a million times. I'd like to know where, who, how, in Pontotoc County, Mississippi, $36 million went. That seems like they need to be, and now they're trying to pencil whip somebody that is not deemed a white person. You see, they make that call. So she's a mixed race. These are the same clowns that love Barack Obama, and that crowd there but now they're gonna start casting stones here at this deal. And this Vandiver guy, he wouldn't be there in running the deal if he's not parroting and voicing what he feels like the people in South Pontotoc want, and they just want to trim the edges and keep the undesirables out. And if you're not part of the deal, you're an undesirable. That's what's really.
My daughter is very smart. My daughter is very smart, and I believe.
And they don't like that either. You know, they don't like that either. 100 years ago,
Yes.
you'd been killed for teaching somebody mixed or black how to read. It might have been a little over 100 years. It hadn't been much longer than that. That hadn't been a long time ago, folks. And so now you've got one that's smart. Now that's they don't like that. Arana, is it Arana? Arana. I'm saying it right. Arana. I'll never get it right. So you know, in Mississippi, she's gifted. You're saying she's gifted. She's in a gifted class, but the rest of the people down there that are jihading this deal, they don't call it gifted. She's uppity. They've got a different word for it, and they don't want no uppity half breed going to school with their children. That's how they really talk, Ariana. So
what?
You know
Yes,
it, and I know it.
Really, that's really what it is boiled down to.
And I live here. I know I've been here my whole life. I know what the deal is.
After my daughter being moved to an older group of children like that, automatically I got the gist of, well, I don't want you tainting or corrupting my classroom's little minds, so I'm going to put you up here with the bigger kids that are doing other stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and if that's the problem, then my child needs to be reevaluated, and she needs to be bumped up a grade.
All right.
Not forced out of a school because.
But not until you write them a check. They want you to write them a check.
Yeah.
So, what happens if you don't pay them? What are they going to do?
They said that she had to go to city school.
And what if you refuse to do that? What's the deal?
I guess the only alternative that I would have would be to homeschool, pay the tuition, or send her to city.
If you try to take her after they say she can't go, you don't pay. I'm going to tell you exactly what they're going to do. They're going to call Leo Mask, and he'll send a SWAT team out there and make sure that you and the daddy go to jail, and they'll get CPS, take the kids, and all that.
That's one thing about me.
Yeah.
Me and my husband are both very well known in Pontotoc, and people respect me and my husband.
Right.
We work and we mind our business, and we stay out of the way. We don't meddle in other folks' business. It's not our business. We stay out of it, you know.
Yeah.
But this thing with the school down here has just gotten too far. And I'm doing what the NAACP recommended me to do, is to get my daughter's story out there on any platform that I can.
We're doing it, folks.
This is wrong. They're telling me that my little girl can't go to the school now all of a sudden for no reason, no prompted reason. They can't find another reason other than telling
folks,
me.
You know how it's not how traumatizing it is for a child to be going to school. She's kindergarten there, first grade, second grade. She's made friends. That she's familiar with that environment, and she knows the routine and all that stuff. So take a child of that age and just rip them out of there and put them in a brand new deal. And I'm going to tell you, so it puts in another deal, and that may cause a hardship on transportation. I don't know. But I'll tell you what I do know. You're going to have the same problem of systemic racism in the other school. And so they just pawned it off, let somebody else deal with it. Instead of dealing with the problem here. Instead of trying to figure out a way to make it happen other than burdening the taxpayer, wanting you to pay extra money. You're paying taxes, your husband paying taxes, and they want money on top of that. And dad, insult to injury, you know, it ain't about money. We know what it's really about. Because it's about money and following the rules that we wouldn't be talking about the kid across the street that they admitted using somebody else's address, and that's how they're doing it. I can't imagine any other scenario where that's all right. You go to the bank, borrow some money. Well, you gave them loan. Well, yeah, they used your mama's credit, and that's how they got it. And you know, they use or with unemployment or with any kind of benefits or anything. Well, you're using somebody else's address, and that's not where you live. On any other playing field, I don't see where this is different. That's called fraud. That's called lying. That's called you're circumventing the system. You didn't give them a fake address. You get the address we live, except if you're going to school, and all of a sudden, we want some money, and she's going to have to go somewhere else.
But the kicker of it all is that the pickup of this school bus running, picking this child up here across the road from my house, was board approved because it was on the way to and from the bus shop.
Okay.
Well, conveniently, I'm right here on the way too. Why can't my kid go?
Well, you know, we know why. We know why.
The only difference
I'm sure they can come up. They gonna conjure up another reason why, and try to dismiss this, and but we're gonna make it uncomfortable for them to dismiss it. I got a sneaking suspicion that's not the only deal going on in the Pontotoc school system. So other people, you having similar situations, and you know of these irregularities, then get in touch with me. My contact is in the description there. I want to know about it, and we'll come on. We'll talk about it.
There's no telling how many mamas that the school, I mean, not just the school that my daughter goes to, I mean, schools all over Northeast Mississippi, you know, that have done this to mamas and their children, and children have had to move, or other instances.
Let me tell you, it's a bad. I'm gonna tell you, it is not.
Nobody is unafraid to speak on it, and I'm not afraid to speak about what they're doing to my little girl. I'm gonna stand up.
A step. I'm telling you, folks, it's just a step, and I'm surprised. I am so shocked that they hadn't called CPS in and try to accuse y'all of not taking care of the kid or something like that. I'm telling you, they'll change.
They'll do that.
Huh?
They can't do that.
Oh, they'll do it. No, I know they can't, but they do it. I'm saying they're gonna do it to you, but I've seen them do it.
Well, I mean, they might would try, but I mean, I don't have any dirt under my door.
Look here. I don't know the people that I know of are good parents. They're doing the right thing. But CPS, it's weaponized. The sheriff's department backs them up. And it's whatever they say.
CPS is human trafficking on the slick side.
That's exactly what it is. And that's the weaponized arm, one of the weaponized arms of law enforcement. If they've got children, that's the deal. And you're fortunate. God forbid that anything like that come up in this situation. It shouldn't. But
well, the question
it's come up in other people's situations where this had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. But they wanted to get right in the middle of it, and they want to know, and they want to know everything. They want to know what you're doing, where you're doing it, who you're doing it with.
Their damn business. See, I run a business here in Pontotoc County to the public, and I have ran it for about nine years now. I'm gonna say 9 years confidently. I've ran my business, and I have met a lot of people. I've done business with a lot of people. A lot of people know me. Met my daughter. The whole time, my customers can even vouch. I have lived here at this address that long, since as long as they've been buying wood from me. Right. Actually, one of the board members, I cut wood for a living. Cut trees for a living. One of the board members, one of the school board members, he lets me cut some of the old trees that falls at his house. And so there is, I won't say it's all bad. There is some good people that have helped me out along this.
Of course.
But then again, then we have our others, like the superintendent. I haven't spoke with him.
Yeah.
Since, well, I did have an initial phone call with him, but I have not spoken with him since.
Right.
But they just didn't care pretty much. I mean, this is an issue. My daughter has been there since kindergarten. Nothing has changed.
Yeah,
and
this shouldn't be an issue. We shouldn't be on here having to have this conversation. But obviously, we're having to have this conversation.
Right.
And how long are we going to have this conversation? I hope, for the child's sake, that it won't be long. And for their sake, that it won't be long. Because there's one thing about me is when I get on it, I'm going to stay on it. And that's just the only way to do it. I believe that we should have full transparency here and get it out and let the world know what's really going on. If we talk about how things have changed and the way it is, that sounds good. But now talk to someone that is in this state that is not white or a different race, and that's been here a length of time, and talk to them. And of course, you're gonna have your percentage of those that have drank the Kool-Aid, the coons that's out there that are doing the bidding for the establishment and going along with it, while their own race still suffer and still have to deal with abject racism and discrimination. And so it's I think it's the time now, folks, that we should be turning the page on this bull crap and doing things that are that make sense. And I'm sure there's a lot of things going on in the Pontotoc school system. At $36 million, there's a hell of a lot of things going on. I just can't imagine what they spent the money on, or what they're spending on. They ain't making sense.
See, that's the thing that I found while I was researching or actually looking for my physical zoning.
Yeah.
To find out if I was in city or if I was in county.
Right.
And all of the models, I don't care which way you turn it, all of the models tell me that I am in county school district, that I am on the line, I have school choice.
Right. Well,
right
the chart that you're not seeing is the DNA makeup that they're looking at and that they're making decisions on. That's the one they're really not talking about. That's the one we're talking about. Okay, that's the one that's really off the record. Is the DNA record, and who are they? And what's their last name? And where are they from? All these things come into play, and they should look at it and say, well, you know what? She's been here since kindergarten. Man, they should have never had that conversation in the first place.
No.
But they had it, and so it makes you wonder. Are they desperate for money that bad, or is there something else there? Obviously, folks, you can say there's something else there. $36 million tells me that money should be looking pretty good. I mean, I'm just saying.
We're teachers at the school. When the snack box gets low or the treasure box or something like that gets low, the teachers will send out a mass text to all of the parents asking or telling them that things are low. And just like you said, if our school district is getting funded this amount and they're spending X amount and it's leaving X amount, why are our children why are our teachers, why are they lacking? Or why are they asking the children's parents for things? Or why are they online asking for donations?
I know. I've talked to parents and their kids every week are coming home with something different that costs money.
Yes, it is.
All kind of pictures, hula hoops, fundraising, on and on and on. It's all
Pep
about the
rallies.
money. And I'm thinking,
Yes,
these
and-
teachers say we'll get paid more. I get that. But when you took that job teaching, you knew what it paid. All right. Don't get the job coming in and start whining, hell, I'm not getting paid enough. Well, damn, don't take the job. You took the job. You know what the deal is. But now they got it on the backs of the kids. They're peddling something every week, ain't they?
My daughter has a trouble. She has some trouble with the math, but you should see the stuff that they're trying to make these kids do and the way they're trying to teach it to them is all messed up.
They don't teach it like they used to
we
teach
learned
it.
is regular math. Children don't even do regular math anymore. It's not just regular addition and subtraction.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's almost algebra
Yeah.
in second grade.
Hey, kids are, they know more. They're smarter, I believe, now than maybe they were when I was growing up. It's different. It's different. Everything's different. It's corporal punishment. That's when I was a kid, and we cut up in school.
You got a butt whooping.
The teacher
Your dad
wore
would
our
go to
ass out,
school
and then when I get home, my daddy find out that I'd get my ass wiped again. Forget
You
my
get
ass
two
wiped at school. A double whammy. And that's how they kept us in line. Is those teachers would, I felt at that time, would nearly beat us to death, and it still didn't help. but now, oh Lord, you can't do nothing. I mean, before that, back in the old, they would put a kid in front of the class and make them wear a pointed dunce hat. Could you imagine if they done that now? They should, but that's not politically correct anymore. But that was so we have progressed in a lot of that. But Mississippi, on the other hand, when it comes to race, that pill is I don't know if they're ever going to swallow that pill. It's a bitter pill. It's still in their blood, honey.
In Mississippi, it's even worse for, like in my situation, it'd be even worse for me because I'm white and my husband is black.
Oh yeah, it's
so I'm
everything but a child.
In some people's eyes, I'm worse. I'm considered less than him in their eyes.
Of course,
because I betrayed my race or color.
Of course, I'm surprised the Klan ain't showed up at your house and tried to horsewhip you. That's what they used to do. They still want to do it, but they having to do it different. They got to do it on slick. Like get the principal to start some old slick crap about. You wasn't but you ain't in the district, and the other kid, and reason that because they're using somebody else's address. That's why it's okay. And folks, I ain't gonna get past that part, and I don't think anybody else should get past that part.
So as I stated, I've spoken to Kathy Chisholm, and I asked her, is there any way that we could propose it to the House of Representatives, or you could bring the issue up?
To get the K out of the Klan? What'd she say?
She told me that, the idea was, I asked her, could she pitch the idea to them or mention something to the House of Representatives like, hey, I have a child that's in this district and is being forced to move because supposedly they're not in district or they're out of district. No. And there's a bus running here and blah, 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 whatever.
I bet if it was an audit done of these addresses, I bet we'd all be surprised at how many people are doing that.
In her words, exactly, and I quote, I can try to tell them, but I don't even think that they would listen to me about it.
No, I don't hear it.
End quote.
No. And of course, it's
but it's an issue.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where your mama or daddy lives.
The Attorney General, Lynn Fitch, they if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't know all the historical relics and childhood home and everything that belonged to Nathan Bedford Forrest, founder of the Ku Klux Klan. So I'm told he pronounced that later on. Nonetheless, if it wasn't for Lynn Fitch and her family, they preserved all that, and they've got that down there in the central South Mississippi area. And folks, it's these things are not tolerated; they're accepted as a rite of passage. And I think that it's absolutely appalling that anybody at that school would have the gall to bring this to you about your child and ask you for some money, and then tell you about how the child across the street, how they loophole themselves in. If they don't have any qualms with that, they have no problems with that. Looks to me like a crime's being committed. Sounds to me like they're committing a crime there. And
it's discrimination, textbook discrimination. There is no difference. They're further towards the city than I am. I'm county. If something happens, it's county comes out here, not the city police. It's the county.
Right.
And they're trying to tell me, oh, well, the school zoning and the county city zoning is two different things. Well, either way you put it, this kid is going to school, to my daughter's school over here, but you're telling me I got to move my daughter out of the school. Yeah. And there's no difference between my daughter's mixed and she's white. Yeah. And I live here. They live over there, but they're using her mama's
we know the difference.
Into the school.
We know the difference, folks. We know the difference.
That's discrimination.
Is there any black teachers at that school that you know of?
No.
There's not.
There's no black board members on the school board.
Is there any black people live in Pontotoc?
Oh, yes.
Or the city?
There's actually, they're in on the county boards. There's a lot. There's a couple of people.
They got them pushed off into their own corner, I think, hadn't they?
All of the black people up in the city on the boards. Yeah. But down towards
that's
the county.
Why people out in the county don't want them kind out there. They can go to the
city.
They go to the city, exactly.
And see, this is a thing that I have thought about too. What about if they're trying to push my daughter to the city to where they can officially declare that the city is getting bigger and they can push the city limits out on further and get more tax dollars off of that?
Who knows what? Let me tell you, who knows? Who knows? But I can promise you, if they got blacks on the school board and on the city school, that the white people in Pontotoc County and in Pontotoc, they are jumping through hoops to make sure their children do not go to school with them. They don't want it. They can say whatever they want to say, but that's what it is. And so that's what they're telling you. They want your child to go to school where she belongs. But they don't belong out there with them.
My child's no different than little Barbara's daughter down here going to school, or little Johnny's little boy going to school down here. My child is a child that deserves a right to an education like every other child.
Absolutely.
And she is established at this school. She should not have to change. She should be able to finish.
I would move. I'd hair lip the devil before I'd move her, and it would it'd hair lip the devil before I paid them any more money over and above what I'm already paying in taxes. So there you have it, folks. Well, Ariana, I don't know if you get it right. Ariana. I just want it to be another name, and we can't do it. Party
I'm the only
shots.
one you'll ever meet.
Huh?
I'm the only Ariana that you'll ever meet.
Ain't that the truth? Tell me, give us party shots. What do you want to say before we jump off here?
I'm in my wit's end as a mama, as a mother, and my kid. I mean, like I said, my kids went to school at South Pontotoc since kindergarten. Right. And she's in the middle of second grade year, and now all of a sudden, oh, you're out of district. You got to move her because she got a write-up sent to the office, and
she got a write-up.
Exactly textbook racism and discrimination because my neighbor's child lives over there, and you see her out there every day, and the school bus runs here, drops her off here every evening, as this was her physical address. But you're telling me I can't send my kid on
Where'd
that
you
bus?
go? Where'd you go to school, by the way?
I went to school at Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain. Okay.
Yeah, so
The whole river world in Blue Mountain.
yes. But it's wrong. I have brought this issue before the school board. I have brought this issue before our state senator.
Yeah.
I have brought this issue before our the representative of the 15th district, which is
What are they
Waldo.
saying? Now saying, Will,
everybody
what's
knows it's out of their hands because it's a private issue or a state issue, and they have no avenues.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
They can take
It's South Pontotoc School. Is it a charter school? Is it a public school? Parochial? So what is it?
It's just a school's all I know. If you just, it's a school. If you live in the county,
they probably got something brought up, folks, that they won't nobody understand. It's like peeling onion here. I'll guarantee you, they've got something in there. They've got something in there. A whites only contract deal that we're not picking up on here, but we're going to. All right, folks.
Nobody's willing to help me.
Well, I am, and there's other people that are watching this that are, and we're going to keep talking about this, and we maybe want to get you back on here when something does change it, for better or worse. Kind of keep us abreast on what's going on, okay? All right, folks, that's it. Let me hear from you, and let us know what you think. Remember to subscribe and share our content and share it relentlessly. Until next time, God bless you.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.